Audio disclaimer. Before we jump into today's episode, a quick heads up. We experienced some unexpected technical issues during recording, and as a result, the audio quality isn't quite up to our usual standards. We appreciate your patience and understanding. The conversation is still packed with great insights, and we didn't want you to miss out. Thanks for sticking with us. Color and visual disclaimer. Due to artistic color grading and visual adjustments applied during post-production, certain scenes in this episode may appear different in tone, lighting, or color compared to real-life conditions. These changes are intentional and part of the creative direction to enhance the overall viewing experience and visual storytelling. We appreciate your understanding and hope you enjoy the look and feel of this episode.
Intro.
Huh? Why do you always ask? Why do you ask questions I already know the answer to?
In 3,
That's your role.
2,
You gotta have it first.
all right, welcome to another episode of Reality Got. We have some special guests in the building right now.
Super very special guest.
We're gonna start to our left. We have Latoya. Introduce yourself.
Latoya Benjamin.
Okay.
I'm young, I won't say my age. Yeah, I'm a social worker. I have 4 daughters in total. So I'm dealing with the adulting, and there's 1 teen of the 4. Yeah, I live in Georgetown.
Georgetown.
Georgetown. Yeah, and I'm just
Living life.
living life.
Amen. Amen. And now to our right, we have Miss Sharika Cooper.
Hello.
Welcome.
I'm Sharika. I'm an educator in a school board, mom of 3, as old as 20, as young as 2. Been teaching for, I think this year will be my 12th year. Yeah, so it's good to be here.
It feels good as well. And next to her, we have Special K, the beautiful
AKA
Special K,
off-screen.
aka Off-Screen Karen, Special
Today
Whoop.
on screen.
Today on screen. Introduce yourself, Special K. You are?
I'm Karen, Warren's wife,
No, one's queen.
and I'm a bus driver dealing with the kids who are amazing. I never have issues, so I'm grateful, thankful, thank you.
But you see the underlying theme here. We all have 3 individuals that deal with kids each and every day. So with that respect, we have to give you guys a round of applause.
Thank
Because we know that is a challenge. So thank you for getting our kids safely from one place to the other. Thank you for teaching our kids. Thank you for grooming our kids into respectable young individuals to benefit society. So thank you very much to each and every one of you ladies.
Thank you.
With that, DJ H2O, open it up.
Why is it that we have these 3 lovely ladies on?
Because this month is International.
Women's Month.
There you go. There you go. So we
That's why you're
celebrate.
dragging me out of here.
We celebrate you guys. We love you guys, and it should be experienced or appreciated every single month, not just the month of April. You know what I mean? But we want to
100%.
show recognition to the ladies and what you guys do on a day-to-day basis to help life easier for all of us. So celebrate the ladies in April, International Ladies Month. Special lady in your life. Who do you want to give a shout out to? There's only one choice, bro. I'm putting you on the spot.
I know you're trying to.
Did you? So who is it? Come on, one
That
that's
is
missing.
to off-screen Jen, my wife, who's upstairs at home, taking care of our 2 kids.
The beautiful kids.
Appreciate it.
Beautiful kids, smart kids.
Yes.
Okay, so we want to start off a few topics here. The first one that's in the news right now. How about the Chris Brown and the Usher concert coming up? Right?
Well, any of you ladies be attending?
Would any of you ladies attend that concert with your man or without? What do you guys think?
Probably not. If I did, it wouldn't be for Chris Brown. Probably to see Usher.
Okay.
But it also depends on what the price point is like.
So it depends on the price.
You can afford it.
Doesn't matter.
You're good.
But like, I'm kind of, fiscally responsible. So I'm not going to go and shell out $400 to see
It ain't hurting.
somebody I could see on the TV.
Facts.
Yeah, that's not here. But if you could, and it's not hurting your pockets,
Yeah.
right? And you get it, or someone gave you tickets.
If I got tickets, I'd go. If I had to pay for it, probably not.
No?
I did go and see Cardi B.
Oh, okay. How was that one?
Fun.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that in Toronto. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, she boycotted Hamilton.
No, she wasn't
No.
going. she
My
was
daughter
going.
went.
Sell out yet.
My daughter went to Hamilton
But
and
then,
she said it
but
was
then they
bomb.
sold out.
Yeah.
She said it was
Sold out.
bomb.
All of her concerts have been sold out so far.
And that's why she's upset, because it was still like,
But after she put that message out, it sold out.
I got a tough question for you guys. So would you guys consider yourself Christian, Catholic?
Christian.
Okay. So how do you balance, and this is a topic that we go through, me and my wife go through on an almost weekly basis. How do you balance listening to that genre of music and regaining your Christian faith at the same time? Can you balance the two? Do you think it's okay just to be involved in listening to this music and reciting it and also be involved in the church, for example? Like, how do you differentiate between the two?
Music is an art form.
Gotcha.
So, for example, 50 Cent. He's great at, marketing, making his money, doing his thing. Do I listen to his music? No. I think his music is garbage.
Okay.
But then you have somebody like Neo. Love Neo. Love Neo.
Neil?
I've spent money to see Neo. Yes.
The one with like 20 wives? 20 girlfriends?
There you go. I like Neo as an artist.
Thank you.
But not as a person.
Gotcha.
Right? So I listen to his music. I listen to his art. I like the art form.
And it's easy for you to separate the two. What he does on a personal side and his art.
Yes, because I still like him as an artist, but how he lives his life, that's something different. I don't like, the things that have come out about him. But I still like his music.
What do you say to people who are in the church and say you shouldn't be listening to that music if this is what you want to do on your personal
You do you, I do me.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's a pastor that actually say, don't listen to these music. It depends on your growth.
Good answer.
It depends on your growth. For me, I don't listen to it at all.
No,
'Cause I don't want to. I'm trying to get at a space in my relationship with God where I need my spiritual man, or whatever you want to call it. What do you guys call it? Like my growth to be just positive and spiritual.
Do you feel that listening to that music would make it harder for you to be a Christian?
Yeah, because some not all music, but most music, it's you listen to it. It's not a positive. It's like drinking and Beyonce. It's like a lot of negative that I am not trying to do.
Gotcha.
I think it also depends on how mentally strong that person is. That's just like saying, okay, if you watch a horror movie, are you going to go out and want to kill 10 people? No.
Yeah, no.
Right? Like you have to have a certain discernment and strength within you to say, okay, I can listen to this, and then it's like, no, I don't believe in that personally, right? So I think it's a personal thing, right?
You just have to know how to differentiate the two. Like when I go to church, yes, there's gospel music that we sing. I'm not gonna go in there singing the Neo song, but still, as an artist, he's like in my top 3. Yeah, so I mean, you just have to know how to differentiate it. That's it. So I can still be a Christian and listen to that as well, because I know how to differentiate it. I'm not taking the lyrics on and saying, oh, I'm going to go do what he says in the song, right? So
Yeah, it's also feeding your spiritual man, though, right? It's not like when you listen to a worldly music, it doesn't mean you're like, for a Christian, you're gonna go do it. It's what you're feeding into your body. It's what you're going to put out. Right? So it doesn't mean that because you're listening to something, you're going to, I'm going to start swearing. But it's what you put into your mind, right? You don't want to put it out. Because if I'm listening to pure swearing, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to blurt out one day, blah, 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 because you're feeding your spiritual. And it's to do with spiritual and physical, right? It's spiritual, like your growth. You're trying to put positivity in your mind, especially if you're a person that is always yelling and screaming and anger and swearing. You don't want to, as a Christian trying to be a right way, have that in your mind as well, right? It's nothing about to do with strength. It's more what you're feeding in your body, spiritually.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, it's hard for me to not remember like those old 90s, 2000s classic R&B, we're talking in a sexual way, rap songs, hip hop songs, are obviously there's cursing and there's sexual innuendos, but I think I more align with what Latoya is saying. If you have the mental strength and the capacity to, differentiate between how someone produces art in a musical way, and you don't have to emulate that in your real life, I don't see a problem with that. Like if I'm not going around shooting a gun, right? Or I have 20 wives, right?
Yeah.
I have that mental capacity and that strength to know that this is for art, right? But I think for a younger generation, right, that find it difficult to separate that two, I think that's where the problem lies. Like we're old enough to know that that those are immature tactics, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the younger generation, like our kids, like the 13-year-olds, the 8-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, that listen to that music, that can't separate the two. And you're trying to raise them.
But at the same time, we listened to certain types of hip hop.
Right.
When we were growing up. Mm-hmm. So how were we able to differentiate, and they can't?
But I guess that boils down to how your parents raised you then, right? If you have strong parents in the background that say, okay, listen, you can be, some parents won't even allow them to listen to that type of music, right? Mm-hmm. But if your kids are obviously on YouTube during the day, they're going to scroll on something that has swearing, that has some sexual innuendo. So I really think it's how you raise them and tell them, okay, listen, I understand this type of music that you listen to, but just know that this is just art. It's not real life. A lot of these artists don't live the life that they actually live. Yeah. It's just for propaganda or to make some money. You take them outside of the genre, outside of the music, they live a completely different life, right? And I think that's something that our kids, the younger generation, needs to understand. So to answer your question, I just think it's how your parents raise you, all right? But that's my little input there. We didn't get your input though. What do you think?
I agree with all y'all. No, but it's like you said, like growing up, I knew the difference. Like I knew the music that I was not that I wasn't allowed to listen to, but like I'm not listening to the cursing ones in front of my mom. You get the edited versions, you know what I mean? Like you know when to do what, right? And it wasn't always in our face. I think now it's there's so much with the social media in your face all the time. Like they're gonna eventually think that, oh, this is how it should be done. Like in our time we listened to it, but we didn't have images hitting us all the time. That's the exact same thing. So if someone was talking about guns and stuff like that, you knew that, okay, they're telling their life. Mm-hmm. Obviously, in my life, I'm not around people, or I don't know people who are going to get me guns like that and stuff like that. Like, also what the kind of life you live yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you live that street life and you're listening to the street music, you're probably going to, get influenced by it a little bit because they're doing almost the same thing you are. So you feel like, oh, okay, well, you got the guns, I got the guns. I can make that same move. I can do that. I can rob that bank just like he said in the song. But
we're raising our kids now in the age of technology.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Which is sad. And that's the thing that we're kind of struggling with at our house. Like we want our free time, right? So we'll say to the kids, okay, you can go on the tablet for 20 minutes, half an hour, right? And it's to give us that peace and serenity for a short period of time, but we also don't want them addicted to that stuff, right? And I think that's where we kind of lose our kids, because when we allow them to be on the computer and on social media for like 2 or 3 hours, we don't know what's going on, right? And I really do think that we live in a world now where social media is just taking too much control of us, period. And I don't think there's really not much that we can do, because we're living in a world where technology is going to evolve more and more and more and greater. And eventually I think we're going to get lost. and we're going to lose our sense of what it means just to be human and teaching us how to grow.
But you have control now. They're still minors.
Yeah, but
Oh,
so
like
With my girls, like we did,
same thing. I was like, no, you're not gonna. Cell phone.
She was
asking for a cell phone from she was in grade 4.
yeah, but you can't monitor them. You can't monitor her throughout the whole entire day. So
No,
throughout the
but
day-
I didn't get her that, and then when it's home
time, okay, we're at home. We did have,
game night.
we'd have another night where it's like, okay, every week I tell them, pick another culture. So one week we'd go and have Mexican food. Another week we'd have Indian. Another week we'd have Portuguese, like just to expose them
Yeah.
to things that, you know, I want them to be cultured and know that there are different cultures, you know, and try different things instead of just sitting at home.
Or just on your pair oxtail. What?
Yeah, you know, like just
Expose them, and
let them see, like there are different things out there.
Yeah.
So by keeping them, you know, act
they were still engaged exactly in something.
something else,
Still family time.
That's right.
You're still learning
Something.
something, but you're learning it
with me, you don't have to
to be online.
I think off camera we dabbled in it just a little bit since you in all of your respective lines of work you deal with children, right? So I'll start with you, Shrika. What is the biggest challenge in your career right now as far as dealing with children? What do you think is the biggest challenge for you?
Oh gosh.
You have to choose one.
Or one of the many.
I would say just meeting all of their needs. So like one of the things that I make sure I do at the beginning of the year, it's like forget about like, you know, the assessment right away. It's like really getting to know the kids, what they like, what they're interested in, a little bit about their families. And then you really start to see, okay, where the kids are at academically, and there are huge gaps. So like I teach grade 2 and 3 right now. I have kids who are at the grade 3 level, some kids that are at grade 2 level, grade 1 level, and some kids who are still working at like a kindergarten level. So then it's up to me to say, okay, well, this is where this child is at. How am I going to tailor my teaching to meet their need?
And that's something that you have to keep on top of for 10 months out of the year, right?
On top of it, yeah. So bringing them to what we call team to meet with our special education teacher, the principal, to say, okay, these are the strengths that this child has, these are the needs, this is where they're working at in math, language, social studies, but these are where the gaps are. So then we have to then create documents that will basically state what that child will be learning for the year. So they're updated a few times of the year. They can be updated at any time. You have communication with the families. It's just a lot, right?
And what would you say is the best part of your job? So we spoke about the challenges. What's the best part of your job? So we have to choose one thing.
The best part.
Come on, it has to be one thing.
I think it's when like the kids look up to you and they're like, oh wow, you're so smart, or you know, they kind of like they like idolize you. Not that I want them to idolize you, but it's like you realize how big of a job you have,
That's right.
like how important and impactful your job is. Like I could tell them to jump 10 times and they'll just jump. They'll literally do whatever
They
you
have
say.
faith in you, girl.
So it's like you have to really be a good-hearted person to like do your best job at teaching.
You know, it's funny. It's good that you said that. You don't realize how imperative your position is as an educator.
Right.
You're literally that first window towards how they should be out in the corporate world.
Right.
As far as hard work, as far as ethic. Yes, you should learn that at home with their parents, but outside of the home, you are that first avenue, that first road into how they should go about in life as far as careers,
Right,
as far as their career is concerned, and as far as personal relationships. You know what I mean?
Because for me, it's like, all right, the academics are great. I want to make sure that what I'm teaching you will help you out in the real world too,
Absolutely,
right?
100%.
So,
And for you, Miss, what's the most challenging part of your day as a school bus driver? What would you think? What would you
She
say?
educates, you gotta bring them.
That's right. So after a long day,
Before they capture her, how are they?
so Shrika has stressed it out for the past 6
Right?
hours.
Oh my
They're now coming
goodness.
on your bus, they smell like
Listen,
sun.
sometimes they come to me and then there's stuff that's happened on the bus.
Oh!
first, and then I've got to deal with it, right?
Yeah, morning and afternoon.
Right,
I'm dealing
right.
with both.
So what are the challenges that you see?
It's honestly, I think it's patient, respect. You have to respect the kids in order for them to respect you, and being kind. There's kids that will come on the bus and they don't even say good morning, but your energy is what they feed off of. So you continue to see that they're not, you know them. It's only a couple that won't say good morning, doesn't matter what you do. Good morning, smile, good morning, good morning. Oh, nice hairstyle today. But you gotta keep the positive. You gotta be nice, even though they're not. And one day, out of that blue, they're gonna say good morning.
I'm glad that you
And they're
said
gonna say that good morning. And you be like, you don't show it, but you're like, okay. Good.
I'm glad that you said that too, because
Yeah.
just like Sharika's line of work, your job is just as imperative as well, because they may wake up and they may have a garbage morning, right? Whatever happens in the house before 8:30, before 8:45 comes. Once they leave that environment, when they see a smiling bus driver, welcome them in with a smiling face, hi, how are you, a greeting, that might change the rest of their day, right? So you don't know how you approach them at the beginning of the day, that can last throughout the day, and that might make your job
Absolutely.
easier.
I agree
Right,
with
so
that.
we appreciate both of your positions.
Thank you.
Right. And what is there you go. And what is the most negative part of your day, if you had to choose one?
The candy rush, the yelling, the screaming, to the point I had to break.
Any sick kids?
Yo, sick. There's a couple of kids that have nut allergies and stuff like that. So the challenge part of it is make sure the bus is clean, because these kids do not listen. They say no, food, they still behind your back. Because I don't have 20 odd eyes, so I can't see who is eating on the bus. So I have to always make sure I go and check, and then I'll wipe the seats and stuff for the kids who do have nut allergy or all kind of allergies. Nowadays, it's everything. There's so many allergies out there. Yeah.
Shout out to all the school bus drivers. We appreciate you guys, and we recognize the importance of your position and your job. And last but not least, the social worker, Latoya. What are your biggest challenges, and what are your positives of your
One of our many challenges that we face.